as always, I am Sean. This is In The Mix, episode 67 of our Isle of Man series. Happy Tuesday, wherever you're watching from, or happy whatever day of the week it is, if you're watching this one in a playlist or after the fact. We're in a weird scenario again. If you haven't gone and watched yesterday's episode, it was really strange because we had nothing to recap. We basically went from Friday's episode straight into Monday's episode, and now we've only played one game off screen, so there isn't a tremendous amount to recap in this one either. We're getting a lot of content out in the January period, but it is going to set us up for a really nice run home throughout the rest of this week as well. We might as well jump straight in and go through that one result. As we can see here, we would beat Southend 4-0. We were supposed to play Blackpool in this time, but it got rescheduled again, which means that one's going to be back in February, which means as things currently stand in the division, we are in second spot, 2 points behind Sunderland, but we have 2 games in hand. We're also going to play them in today's episode, which means we can potentially actually start to build a points gap at the top of the division. Fingers and toes crossed if everything goes our way as far as results are concerned. But an excellent performance from everyone in that 4-0 victory against Southend. Ricky Dean, I've lost the ability to speak. Ricky Dean, Dwayne Record, Rafinha, and Sean Wademan all getting amongst the goals. A very good second half performance as well, really turning the screws. I didn't make any subs because we were playing really well. I couldn't figure out where to actually make the changes. And when the team's doing well, you probably don't need to overthink it that much. And thankfully, we've had a couple of days since to prepare for the game against Exeter. We have used a rest day. Everybody should be ready to go. The only player that's currently injured is Sam Morris. We gave him a little bit of an opportunity in the last game playing against Chelsea because he has done quite well during the course of this season, and he did well, but he has picked up an ankle injury that's got him out for a couple of weeks, which means Preston Kelly comes back in. The other thing which has happened and started to happen like a couple of weeks ago is that a few players you'll see are starting to get picked up by the club. So Keith Coates is actually going to be leaving, going back to Ireland to play for St. Pat's Athletic at the end of this season. We've got a couple of other guys as well, and if they're not really at 5-star potential anymore, I'm kind of setting them to release. And there's a few players as well whose contracts are up at the end of the season that we've offered new deals, like Phil Nelson, John Mash and Kingsley Smith, guys that have played and contributed quite a bit and still have a fair bit of potential ahead of them. At the same time, we've also gone and put together our scouting list. If you didn't watch last series or last week or whenever it was, it might have been 2 weeks ago now by the time this is released, but I actually went through and showed how I identify youth talents that are getting released from higher division clubs. We've set up that transfer list. We've set up our shortlist. They're all going to get scouted. They're all going to get full reports in, and we're going to kind of review who we want to go after and work our way back down from them. In addition, I have also added, if we have a look at the add and remove leagues thing here, I've added some additional leagues in. So we've got the top 5 leagues in Europe. I've also added in, just because I like them for regen players, Holland and Serbia. I think they bring through some fantastic regen players at various points. I've also added in Brazil, Argentina, and Chile from South America. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to add divisions from around the world or anything like that. I still want the game to move relatively quickly, but we are getting some additional nations in from next season, so we can start picking that wonder kid talent up from around the world and bringing them into the squad as we continue our journey up into the Championship and hopefully up into the Premier League and then eventually Champions League as the series continues. So that's where my head's at. That's where we're at and where we're looking at for a transfer period. Now that we're in the second half of the season, we should definitely start looking towards free transfers for the end of the year, or at the very least tightening up our squad. If we don't get promotion this year, getting a concerted effort in again to go after a league title in our 3rd season in League One. The games today, first up, Exeter City currently in 5th position. If we look, they're currently firmly entrenched in the playoff positions at the moment. Still very tight. There's quite a few teams between, like 40 points and 48 points where they currently sit. So they're probably desperate to get 3 points as well. They will be a decent challenge for us. It is one of our games in hand on Sunderland, which makes it massively important for us. I would like to get ourselves clear and on the other side of them with games in hand, with points in hand, because it'll really give us some focus in the second half of the season. No more cup competitions. The FA Cup defeat to Chelsea was our last cup involvement for the season itself. And I'm fine with that. I really want to go after a divisional title. We haven't won a title now in, I think this will be the 3rd season. And there is just something always great about getting promoted as champions. It just it scratches an itch for me better than it does getting promoted from second spot. Right, this is the lineup that we're going with. Donkin in goal, Taylor and Coates as a central defensive partnership. Coates will slowly start to get out of the side now that he's leaving. Smith's currently suspended with a yellow card suspension, so he misses out for today. Preston Kelly and Wright as the 2 fullbacks. Dean and Rafinha as the 2 wingers ahead of them. Rafinha's been fantastic for us since he's now comfortable in this left midfield role. Wademan and Wolf as the 2 central midfield partnerships. Probably the first names on the team sheet each week, if I'm being honest. And Knowles and Record are continuing a fine little run of form, playing together up top. They're maybe not necessarily scoring or getting the highest match ratings, but when they're playing together at the moment, we seem to win and we seem to score consistently across the park, which is good to see. Grant Davies just been unlucky that I really have a massive man crush on Dwayne Record, but he's still our leading goal scorer for the season. They've got some very good players, some excellent players you can try and pick up for your own lower league saves. Alfie Whiteman is a fantastic young English goalkeeper, starts the game at Tottenham in their youth academy. He's randomly gone to Melbourne Victory for a couple of seasons on loan, which is weird to see, before coming back to Premier League Crystal Palace and now at Exeter at League One level. He's a very good goalkeeper with massively high potential if you can get him early on. Laji Ramazani, Belgian right winger from Manchester United, comes through their academy, has played at Sunderland, Wigan and now Exeter at a few lower division sides. Also a very good player, 17 acceleration, 15 pace. He's a great one to pick up if you can. And I think you can actually sign him like as low as Vanarama, like North level, once his contract's up, if you've got the relevant cash behind you. We've got Taylor Gardner-Hickman, who we've previously looked at as a great player, can play on both sides, both very equal-footed, looks to be an excellent prospect as well, coming through the West Brom Academy. So not as high player values as far as they're concerned. They're all around like 100k, 160k, whatever else, very, very similar to us, but still some very talented players in the Exeter team, and I think that shows why they're currently sitting up towards the top of the division. Calmly, we're going to say go out there and carry straight on from where you finished the last match. A fantastic 4-0 win in that one. We just want to carry that form on, and if we can finish today's episode top of the division, I will be absolutely thrilled. But if Sunderland do beat us, it's going to make for a very interesting run home. Wolf with a corner here. We're wearing our orange kit today, so don't get confused with the two colour swaps. Wademan with the ball out to Dean. Poor cross in, and Gardner-Hickman's going to have a chance to carry this into their first half. Someone's got to go to the ball. Wright comes across now with an excellent challenge, puts it out for a throw-in and brings the highlight to an end. Record, deep free kick, looks towards back post. Knowles is in there and he's flicked it on. Is he onside? He is the assistant referee running back, and an 11th goal of the season for Daniel Knowles. Dwayne Record's set piece delivery has been excellent. The keeper probably could have done a bit better here, come out a bit earlier, but I'll take it. It's pretty much a tap in from about 2 yards out. Keeper probably should have flown out and claimed that one relatively early, but we go a goal up around 20 minutes gone. Whiteman with long ball forward. Wright should recover possession for us. Goes all the way back to Donkin. Work it out to the left-hand side, please. Please. No, instead he's gone long down the middle to no one in particular, so we've coughed up possession. The Wolf, as he so often does, out of character, gives away possession. Bennett with a fantastic strike. Preston Kelly manages to recover after Jack Donkin made a very good save. Uncharacteristic from the Wolf. The Wolf has been probably my favourite player of the season so far. And he just recycles possession a tremendous amount. He's never worried. He always looks to have time, always seems to find feet. They've got possession here, ball forward. Bennett's managed to turn both our defenders and find the finish. Danny Bennett, his tremendous little mustache there gives him his 15th goal of the season. Poor defending from both Coates and Taylor on that one. We drop down to second position with them finding that equaliser, which is fine. Nothing to panic about. We've still got games in hand. Just a ball over the top. And I think Coates probably... they both just missed the ball. They both got called ball watching, leaving it for the other person. And I think Jack Donkin actually got megged on the way through, which is always a bit of a pain. We're going to demand more. They've got a throw in here early. Wademan with a good header away. Rafinha can turn and release it up the line for Record to chase. He's 1v1 now. Just slow down. We've got to wait for bodies to get in the box. He's gone the cross way too early, and Gardner-Hickman has gotten it away. Wright will reset through the Wolf and sends it out to the left wing for Rafinha. Can he wrap his foot around the ball here? He's gone past Darbo, and we've won a free kick. Oh no, we've won a penalty, apologies. Rafinha's actually going to take the penalty as well. I thought Record was set to take these, and Whiteman saves down to his left-hand side. I've got to fix that up. I don't think Rafinha should be taking the penalties. I think it should be Dwayne Record picking him up each time. Whiteman with the long ball forward. The highlight continues. Wright's recovered possession. Coates with the long ball forward towards Record. Knocks it down for Knowles quite well. Now Ricky Dean on the right-hand side. Can he get his foot around the ball? Work it inside. Knowles with the strike from the angle just over the crossbar. So devastating that we've missed that penalty, but at least we're creating opportunities. Ball in here. Fletcher from the corner. Managed to clear it away. Preston Kelly up the line. The highlight comes to an end. Deep free kick here for Exeter. It's going to be taken by Darbo, who gave away that initial penalty. Ball in behind towards Fletcher, and he's got the flick on header. Isaac Fletcher, his 4th goal of the season. Fankadi Darbo with the assist. It was an excellent ball, to be fair. It was curling away from the keeper. He couldn't really come out to claim it. Definitely much better than our goal, but a similar scenario. Backstick runner, little tap in from about 6 yards out. And we're going to go in at half time, 2-1 down. 2 minutes to be added on here. No late drama. So after a half, Exeter 2-1 up. They've had 6 shots, 5 on target, 58% possession. We've had 9 shots, 5 on target, 42% of the ball. At least I know what we're going to do. Aggressively, expect to see a much better performance from him in the second half. And we're also going to shift and go attacking. We're 2-1 down. We've got nothing to lose. We might as well push on a little bit. Do I want to make subs at half time, or do I want to give everyone 15 minutes to try and respond? I'll give everyone 15 minutes. Deep throw in for us here, right with possession. Plays the 1-2 with the Wolf. Looks for a long ball over the top now. Sends Knowles into the channel. Record's getting his way into the box if we can beat the man here. Squared up to Dean. He just keeps possession, but then loses out to Gould on the recovery challenge. They come forward now. They've sent a man into the channel. Gould's still going on his run. Finds Taylor Hickman. He's going to want to get back on his right foot, and thankfully his drive from the wide area never really looked like troubling the goal. Alright, we're nearly through an hour now, so I'm going to make 3 subs. We're just going to go based on performance, and Wright, Taylor and Rafinha are struggling the most. So we're going to bring on John Mashin on the left wing, Matt McCluskey at centre back, and Phil Nelson as the right full back. And we're also going to use our demand more shout here in a moment, or a get creative shout, sorry. We've got the ball in possession, record with a header, but Whiteman equal to it. Read it quite well. Didn't have the necessary pace to beat the goalkeeper anyway. Get creative, 30 minutes remaining. What can we do here to try and find an equalising goal? Everyone seems inspired by the feedback, which is good to see. Sunderland are winning their current game, which means they would go 5 points clear heading into the match against them, but we do still have 2 games in hand. Throw in here, very deep, go up the line. We've got record there, he's wide open. Preston Kelly plays back to McCluskey. He finds record now. Ball in towards Knowles, who gets the strike away. Whiteman with a good save. Record could have maybe pulled that one back, but instead he drives it out for the goal kick. 10 minutes remaining. Let's use our demand more shout here. Everyone seems focused, which is great to see. It's going to be one late free kick. Record with the ball in towards Coates. It's a good header, but just over the crossbar. 3 minutes to be added on. Is there any late drama that we're going to see here? We're still chasing that extra goal. We're through the 3 minutes now, and the referee's called full time. I don't know what it is about this week. When as soon as we start recording, our form goes out the window. But 7 shots, 5 on target, 56% possession for Exeter. 15 shots, 7 on target, 44% for us. That missed penalty actually came back to bite us a little bit more than we expected it to. Daniel Knowles getting the goal for us. Bennett and Fletcher with the goals for Exeter. Well, all we can do is really pick ourselves back up and try and get 3 points against Sunderland. Assertively, I'm going to say not happy with your performance out there. At least everyone's responded positively, which is good to see. 2 forwards did well. Knowles and Record getting our only 7 match ratings for the game. And we do still have 2 games in hand. We still technically can go above them if we get wins in that period. But we are now 5 points behind Sunderland going into the game against them. FC Isle of Man, a disappointing collapse. That's very, very true. Fankadi Darby gets player of the match despite giving away a penalty at the same time. West Brom boss Gennaro Gattuso is there looking at Dwayne Record. They actually put a bid in for about 200k, which is way too low. If they want him, they can pay his release clause, which I think... Oh, he doesn't actually have one. So if they pay closer to $1 million, they can have him. Here we go. Dwayne Record wants to have a chat about not being allowed to move to West Bromwich. Record is an influential player. You all may want to speak to him in a sense. So let's discuss it with him. And let's say... I'm disappointed he blocked my transfer to West Bromwich. He wants a chance to test himself in a better division. It's hard to be upset about that. They are playing in the Premier League. I'm just going to say the finances weren't right on the deal. It's all well and good, but what do you consider yourself to be a reasonable bid? I don't want to be priced out of a move. Let's say £1 million. Meet this valuation, and that's fair. So he's fine with £1 million. If they come back in and offer that, I'll accept the bid. I'll honour it, and Grant Davies can see out the rest of the season. We do get a couple of players back. Kingsley Smith is back in, and there's a couple of different players here who I think over the last 5 games or so have potentially... We might actually introduce a new column here. The rating for the last 5 games, just to see who's potentially dropping off in terms of average rating. And we might bring some players back in if they're having better performances at the moment. Like Clive Williams might be a decent shout if Ricky Dean's struggling a little bit, just to expand our visibility on a whole bunch of different stuff. Magic of editing though, we're going to jump forward to the game against Sunderland now. Right, just like that, we're a couple of days ahead. No massive changes. Smith comes back into the lineup, of course, so it's pretty much our full strength 11 at present. Dean has a bit of a knock. I'm going to try and get him through this game. It's a massive fixture for us as well. Williams can come in, but he's not as suited to this right midfield role. He wants to play further forward, so I'd rather get our best choice 11 out there, given the size of this fixture. And then worst case scenario, if he falls and he falters and whatever else and he's out for the next few games, I can at least deal with that. They have a very, very strong lineup. We have previewed them before. Lucas Zidane, of course, in goal. Flanagan, I don't think we looked at last time. He's now actually their captain, a very good player. He was in the Media Dream 11. I think he was in the team of the season for last season as well. A very good player that starts at the Crystal Palace Academy and made quite a few first-team appearances for them early on in this game universe. Dreyer was the guy that did the damage for us last time. He played on the right-hand side. They're using him as more of a number 10 at this point, but a very good left foot, cutting back inside. He's already leaving. He's going to go play in the MLS next season, which is interesting to see. And up top, Edmondson has been their leading player so far this season, £3.4 million value. He's increased quite a bit as the season's gone on, and he has scored 12 goals in 29 league appearances, including 1 off the bench. So obviously a very good player as well. We're going to passionately say we owe Sunderland after what happened in our last match, and that seems to have gotten a good response out of a few different players. Really, all I want is just a good performance. We've still got 2 games in hand on them. We still can jump above them if results go our way in those catch-up matches. But if we get 3 points here, I think it's going to put us in a phenomenal position to carry forward into the next season. And I don't think this week yet we've had an episode where we've actually gotten 2 games and 2 victories. We've lost in the last game. I don't want to have another episode where we get 0 points. All right, we're through 30 minutes now. I'm going to use a get creative shout. We are at home. We want to push the issue a little bit more. They haven't had a shot on target yet. We've had 3, but haven't seen any highlights. First highlight we've seen is going to be possession for Sunderland in their own half. Back to Ngobi. The defensive line's dropping off quite a little bit. So all the way back to Zidane. Someone's going to have to press, and Dwayne Record goes now. Long ball forward. Satona manages to keep possession and plays it back to Williams again. Definitely not rushing anything, but a long ball forward there is cut out by Preston Kelly, who gives it straight back. What was the point of that? Oxenden now over to Dreyer. He turns the man in the wide area, and thankfully a strike from distance. It never looked like challenging the goalkeeper. First highlight we've seen, it's gone the way of Sunderland. Still no shots on target for them there. 2 minutes to be added on here in the first half, and it feels a little bit tense. It might not be coming through to you guys, but definitely for me. So 0-0, 8 shots, 5 on target for us, 59% possession. They've had 5 shots, 9 on target, and 41%. I'm not sure who a draw actually suits better. Let's passionately say we owe Sunderland after what happened in our last match again. And no one from the midfield's really responded positively, so let's calmly say them, you weren't that bad, but you can still improve and get a little bit of a positive response out of them. As always, we'll give it 15 minutes, get to the hour mark, and then look at subs, changes, form, fitness, all that sort of stuff. Deep throw in here for Sunderland. Ball shut down. Well, Knowles did quite well to close it down. Gobi goes all the way back to Zidane. So in possession, they're not in any rush at all. They're willing to play all the way back through their goalkeeper. Dwayne Record commits now. Long ball forward, knocked down by George to Flanagan. George goes back to McIntyre, looks for a ball over the top, and Tyler and Taylor's just left it for Edmondson. Thankfully, the angle wasn't great, and Donkin did quite well to force that one out for a corner. How can our captain and one of our better players, he's played most of the games in the last 2 years, do random shit like that? It's just, it's beyond me. Edmondson from the follow-up from the corner there, head up, well and truly off target. Right, we're through the hour mark now. We're just going to go based on current performance. Knowles is struggling, so Davies will come on. We'll switch Record to be the poacher. For the false 9. Davies can play as the poacher. Ricky Dean struggling. We'll go with Clive Williams. And Rafinha is struggling, so we'll go with Mashin. I'm going to move Clive Williams to be a winger on attack, which is a little bit better suited, though he's not entirely comfortable in his position. Passionately, we're going to say I have faith in you guys to make a difference. And we're going to use Old Faithful after an hour. I get creative shout. We just need to try and find one goal here. They have come back into it a little bit in the second half, but not putting us under a tremendous amount of pressure. Throw in here, Williams to take. O'Brien sends it all the way back to Ngobi. So you're going to go back to Zidane. A lot of highlights have started this way, and then they just wait for Dwayne Record to commit. This time it's going to be Davies. Long ball forward towards George, who brings it down and turns away quite well. Mashin just has to stand him up. Played back to the fullback Reed, who skips past Mashin's challenge now. Just stand him up, boys. Don't commit. Flanagan with the ball into Cunningham. He was offside there, surely. Instead, the play continues. We do win it back, and Williams has possession on the right-hand side. Is this the end of the highlight, or are we going to see a counter-attack here? Dwayne Record. Ryan's gone through the back of him, so we're going to get a deep free kick. We're not going to see it, though. The highlight comes to an end. Getting into the last 2 minutes, we're going to use our demand more shout, give everyone some focus through to full time. As things currently stand, we drop down to 4th position, but that is with games in hand. So it just gives really Oxford and Charlton a chance to catch up points on both us and Sunderland. Late, we're into injury time now, 92nd minute. It's going to be a late highlight here. Smith plays forward to right. Just please find feet. Don't just pump it. He goes back across to Taylor. Risky. There were players in the area. Played into midfield. Preston Kelly has the ball now. Give it to Waderman. Instead he goes to Mashin. Ball over the shoulder for Davies. Can he find the flick on? It's a good header from Ngobi defensively, but Wolf recovers possession in midfield. We're going to get some late drama here. Wright comes forward. We've got men around him. Plays Williams now. Now across to the Wolf. Just work it around. Sends Williams into the channel. Gets the ball across towards Davies. What a strike that is. The 18th goal of the season for our leading scorer. He hasn't played much, to be fair, over the last few months, but he's chimed in with an absolutely fantastic goal here. And it's a lovely little work pass again. The Wolf is just fantastic at holding possession, taking his touches, working his angles. Good ball from Williams, who I wasn't a big rap on before the game, but he's done quite well there. And Davies flies it onto that left foot. A wonderful, wonderful finish from the 19-year-old Irish striker. And we get the fucking result. A massive, massive win for us. We haven't had many highlights so far this week, but that is absolutely magnificent. Passionately, I'm going to say a very nice victory. Well done. And everyone has responded positively. What does that do to the league table? Let's have a look. We still have 2 games in hand on Sunderland. We're 2 points behind them. If we win our 2 games in hand, we can potentially be 4 points clear at the top of the table. Well, for a little brief moment there, we dropped down to 4th position. Oxford and Charlton have caught up points on quite a few different teams, but similar story. They are also 2 full games ahead of us as well. Young FCL man shining against Sunderland. Grant Davies gets the man of the match award for coming off the bench and scoring that goal. Fantastic work from him. We've got Charlton in 7 days, so another massive, massive fixture, which we will play off screen. I think what we're going to do is jump forward a little bit now. We've got a game tomorrow, or we've got an episode tomorrow on Wednesday. We'll probably play this game against Blackpool finally, one of our catch-up matches. We'll play the game against Walsall. We'll see how we're travelling in the division. And then I think for Thursday, we'll come back to QPR and Forest Green. And Friday, finish off the season, our games against Scunthorpe and Salford to close out the season. Salford having an excellent season. They're up into 7th spot, despite it being their first year in League One football. Oh, but what a result, what a performance, what a massive... It feels like a lot of pressure's been released. It feels like the valve's been let go, getting a good result against Sunderland in that game. Oh, well, I'm exhausted. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but that was a very draining episode. It was tense all the way through. I've got pit sweats and stuff going on all over the shop. More than anything though, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is the part that I appreciate the most. If you want to go the extra mile, help celebrate our top of the table win, drop a like on this video to please the YouTube algorithm, or subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all our future videos as they continue to be released. You can check out the links just over on the side there. Twitter's where we have all our interactions with the community. If you ever need anything, you want to use this database, you're doing your own saves, feel free to reach out across that platform. And also check out our Sunday night streams, twitch.tv/InTheMixer_FM. Sunday night if you're in Australia, Sunday morning if you're in the UK, super early Sunday morning if you're in North America. But like I said at the start, thanks for watching. That's the part I appreciate the most. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the Mixer.